dragon is slayed and chopped up into a bunch of pieces as the Dogs blow out Bama 28-7 in the SEC title game, which you heard right here on the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. 6 o'clock hour brought to you by Right From the Heart. Sign up and receive daily devotionals by email at rightfromtheheart.org. It mattered, and it mattered much. You can't say, yeah, we can win a bunch of games. Yeah, when you lose to Bama, it's just one game if you fry bigger fish. You can't be as dominant as Georgia is and as competitive as Georgia and Kirby Smart is and have one thing you cannot do, which is beat Bama. And this hopefully will start a trend where the thing starts to slide in the Dogs' favor, where it was just Kirby ball. They didn't have to use trick plays. There wasn't any, bad calls involved. It was straight up big guys against big guys, coach against coach, quarterback against quarterback, and Georgia was the most dominant team for 4 quarters.
It felt like Saturday was sort of the handing off of the baton finally. Like Georgia has, over the last 4 or 5 years, passed Alabama as far as winning national championships, but they could not beat them head-to-head. I know they beat them for the national championship in Indianapolis like 4 years ago, which was great, but even after that, Bama still was able to beat them. After the coaching change, they were still able to beat them.
Right.
That game was never close. That game was never competitive. Never was there a chance, even when the referees helped Alabama down the field and one of the Georgia players lost his mind with retaliation and they let him get a score. I never felt like Georgia was going to lose that game. It was 21-0. Then it was 21-7. And Kalen DeBoer going for it on 4th and 2 at his own 10-yard line. And I know he said that was to try to win the SEC title game. No, that was just a stupid call. And your quarterback threw it away out of bounds. So it felt like that was the passing of the baton. And now there's not even a doubt who the number one team is in the SEC. It's Georgia, and I think they're head and shoulders above everybody.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They will now play on January 1st. They get the winner between Tulane and Ole Miss. And Ole Miss and Tulane already faced off, and they rocked them. They beat them by 35, Ole Miss, the first time. But that was with Lane Kiffin as their head coach, so we still have to see a game without Lane Kiffin. So Georgia gets the winner of Tulane and the Rebels the 1st of January 2026.
Is the offense underwhelming slightly?
Sometimes, yeah.
It's not explosive, but it gets the job done. That's how I look at it.
It's like Novocaine.
All right.
Yeah, and it puts you to sleep.
Right.
It does.
It takes
It'll rock
effect
you to
after a
sleep.
little bit.
Now, they didn't have a long touchdown drive against Alabama. Everything was defense, special teams, sets it up, and you get easy scores. Now, it's called a complete team effort, and it's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
I just wonder in a potential semifinal against a team that can score the ball, how does that work out? But who in here is betting against Georgia? I know I'm not.
You've only had to prove that you could come back a couple of times. Tennessee, track meet with Ole Miss. So they have faced all kinds of games.
Season, yes.
You win games when the games are in the 40s. You won a 16-9 game against Georgia Tech. You can win any kind of way. Here is Kirby Smart talking about now being a top seed and getting the bye, how his preparation will be for his next game.
First thing we're going to do is try to heal, recover, final exams, and then take a deep dive at looking in ourselves and maybe see some areas we can grow in. But, it's a long thought process about that. A lot of debate last year. I think none of the teams with buys won, if that's correct. So there's a lot of thought there, a lot of texting going on between coaches who did it last year, trying to find maybe a better way.
Now, Chauncey Bowens, who hadn't played since the Texas game, got into this game and then was injured on his final carry of the game where he had to be helped off the field. So certainly if he is able to come back, another week off will certainly help that. But it was just too bad that he was injured on the final play. And hopefully he will be ready to go for the playoffs and provide the running back depth that Kirby Smart really wants.
So they don't play till, is it January 1st?
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy moly.
2026. Dogs done for 2025.
That's crazy. That is a long time without football and contact. And it's interesting. I thought it was kind of neat to hear him talk about texting other coaches that have been in the same situation the previous couple years, and none of those teams winning last year. There's something to be said for that rust.
Right.
Unless you really get after each other, which you don't kind of want to do, it's hard to simulate real game and action. And you're sitting around for 25 days. That's crazy.
Yeah, and the team you're playing basically has a glorified scrimmage in between.
Who is it?
Ole Miss plays Tulane.
Right.
No disrespect to Tulane.
No. Much disrespect to Tulane.
Ole Miss beat them by multiple touchdowns early in the year. Yeah, it was not a close game. And the game is.
These teams had no business.
They don't.
And the
And
game.
JMU's going to Oregon.
They
Yeah,
don't.
dude, you want to talk about
don't.
scrimmage?
Doing, man.
And Eugene, they don't belong there.
We'll get into all of that. Then Ole Miss, the game is going to be in the Sugar Bowl against Georgia. So it's not like it's going to be a Georgia home game. There'll be a lot of people from Oxford, Mississippi, make the trek down to New Orleans. I got to get out of there because I'm traveling home that day. Thankfully, Georgia plays at 8 at night, so we'll be home and plenty of time to watch the Dogs. But it will be interesting to see how the teams that have byes navigate this. 2 of the teams are going to play against, again, have glorified scrimmages. Oregon and Ole Miss, whatever. And then the other 2 teams are going to be a knockdown dragouts. A&M Miami, the winner of that goes to play Ohio State. And then Alabama and Oklahoma, who have already played, the winner of that goes to play Indiana. So, dude, these playoffs are going to be fantastic.
Well, if it is Ole Miss that shows up in the Sugar Bowl, they're going to be showing up against a Georgia team that is beating the tar out of folks. And Kirby Smart really likes how physical his team has been and has become towards the end of the season.
It's a culture. It's a day of life. It's a way of life. We believe it helps us win in the fourth quarter. When you watch the National Football League and you pattern your game because you want players to come to your program that want to play in a style of offense and defense that they can play on the next level, but a lot of them want to play in those style of offenses. And when it comes down to the playoffs, you have to be able to stop the run and run the ball to win games. There's a lot of style points out there. There's a lot of things that guys can do offensively and put up numbers. But at the end of the game, if you have to run the ball and you have to stop the run, those are things that matter the most. And we didn't do those well last year, guys. And that was what we were going to hang our hat on this year was, can we stop the run and can we run the ball? And we were going to do that come hell or high water.
He's right. It was a more flawed team, even though it might have been potentially more explosive. We were just talking about the offense because you had Carson Beck, but you had all of the drops. You couldn't run the football, and people could find ways to run. It was not a typical Kirby defense. This is Kirby ball. You're not running it. We're going to beat you up, and it will be a game of attrition.
Yeah, from the start of football, whenever that was, and for the Falcons, I guess that was 1966.
Right.
And when I got here in 99, Dan Reeves' number one statistic that he looked at was our rushing yards versus their rushing yards. And that discrepancy, when it got to a certain point, and this week for Georgia, 141 to -3. So 144 yards of rushing offense difference. That is how you dominate a football team. And when you do that, it takes the life and soul out of them, and it's not even fun. It doesn't become fun. Gunnar Stockton was fine.
Yeah.
20 of 26. What do you have? 3 touchdown passes.
Right. But it was a lot of quick
156
throws.
yards. Yeah.
It was a lot of screens. It was a lot of let's get the ball out.
It's like extended run plays.
But that's fine if that's
getting
what
the ball
you're.
to your
Hard to
athletes.
throw an interception that way.
Dude, Zachariah Branch did a joystick move down by the end zone. His touchdown, he literally used the right analog stick, and you can make your guy kind of hip switch.
He hit the turbo, and he was
He was
gone.
out of there.